Hi there, this is Dr. Naidoo from Do Better MD. Thank you so much for clicking on this free resource called the Ultimate Suicide Safety Checklist using the acronym Go.S.E.C.U.R.E. So if you've been following me on Instagram, in May, which was Mental Health Awareness Month, I went through this acronym in detail. And for you, for visiting my website, I'm going to go through it for you as well so that you have the most evidence-based intervention as a parent, as a provider, as a doctor, as a patient to prevent suicide. And that is to mitigate access to lethal means, which means to prevent a young person from having the ability to access or get things they can use to end their life, because the things that they use could end up being lethal. So what I've created is the acronym Go.S.E.C.U.R.E. And I use this acronym so that you have a checklist that you can easily remember to access and go through and safeguard your home. So let's get into it, okay? I'm going to share my screen. So how come it's important to have a checklist? Well, it's hard work when you're working with a young person that has suicidal thoughts and is in crisis. There are so many things to think about. So this checklist of Go.S.E.C.U.R.E. will make it much easier. It'll also make it much easier for you to know better, to do better, and to feel better. Because if you go through this checklist, you will feel secure in keeping your home safe and know that your child, the person that you love the most, does not have access to something that could really harm them. So this is our acronym. G is for guns. Guns are the thing that is most lethal, which is why, although boys are less likely to make attempts than girls at suicide, they're most often to actually die by suicide because they use guns. So if there is a gun in your home, please do put it in a gun safe. Please do remove the ammunition from the gun itself, but the safest thing really is to remove the gun from your home. So guns are the first thing that you need to ensure and prevent access to. The second thing, O, is overdose options. There are many things people can overdose on. In America, the most common thing are prescription pills, pills that are prescribed to that patient themselves, whether they're mental health medications or medical medications, as well as over-the-counter medications, things like Benadryl, but the most lethal actually is Tylenol and Advil. These two are very, very common to have access to, and these you have to absolutely restrict access from. Vitamins in excess, they seem like a safe thing, but they could actually be really harmful to your liver, to your kidneys, to various parts of your body if you use too much. So vitamins, even melatonin, even Benadryl, really all of these things should be locked up. Cough medicine, the liquid format of this can be combined with other things to get high and to also potentiate the sedative effects of these pills. So please do also lock up cough medicine. Cleaning supplies, this is another thing that could be used like bleach and cleaning agents in other countries all over the world. That is actually the main lethal way of attempting suicide. So we've covered G and O. These are the two most lethal ways that people use to end their life. So please do lock these things up. S stands for sharps. Very often young people will also self-harm and will cut themselves as a form of self-harm, as well as a practice for suicide. And many young people in America do think about cutting themselves as a way to die. So we should lock those up. So that includes razors, knives, art supplies, pencil sharpeners, the blade inside of there people will use, glass, garage, check your garage for any items there, pins, safety pins. These are all things that could be used as sharps, in addition to steak knives, butter knives, things like that in your kitchen. E stands for electric cords. So these are things that people can use to hang themselves. And especially in youth, they have ample access to electric cords for their laptop, for their tablet, for their phone. So these are things to keep secure, including belts, bungee cords, and other items that can be used for hanging. So E is for electric cords and things to hang with. C stands for car keys. So the reason why I bring up car keys is that there are young people who make an attempt by turning the car on in their garage and letting the carbon monoxide flow. So you want to make sure that that is also locked up. If you have a teenager who has access to car keys, do get the car keys back from them when they're done driving, and do make sure you and your partner have your car keys also secured so that the young person cannot use that on their own time to do something harmful. Underage drinking. So many of us in America have alcohol in our home, and it's really easy access. About 25 to 50% of young people who've made a suicide attempt and end up in the emergency room actually have pretty high levels of alcohol. And you may know that alcohol actually can inhibit us from thinking well and making good choices. So if you combine alcohol and a suicidal youth, it's a pretty bad combo. So I would absolutely secure any alcohol you have in your home if you have a young person there who has suicidal thoughts. R stands for re-attempt. If a young person has made an attempt, they are likely to attempt again in the next year. 60% likely to attempt again in the next year. So whatever means they used, whatever of the above they tried, they're likely to try that again versus another modality. So if you have a young person who attempted by cutting themselves, you must make sure that's secure. If you have a young person who attempted via going into the car and turning the exhaust on, that you have to secure. So just consider that as a really extra level of security if you are working with and taking care of a suicidal teen. And the last thing, E, that I have here is entrance and exits, windows and doors. If you have a young person who has thought about jumping off of a roof or jumping into traffic or leaving the home and eloping, maybe you want to consider putting a special bell on there or a special key that only you have access to, just to make sure that you have that extra level of protection. Because when we work with suicidal youth, people who are young, their frontal lobe is still developing. So they by nature are very impulsive. And you as a parent, you as a guardian, you as a doctor, a counselor, whoever's listening to this video, you can be that extra step to help that parent who's living in the home with that child know what to do to really block whatever impulsive thought from having easy access to the thing that could cause them harm. For more information, check out my website, sign up for my newsletters, and check me out on Instagram and my podcast, Thinking It Through with Dr. Naidoo. Thanks so much for listening to Do Better MD, Know Better, Do Better, and Feel Better.